What up, Sims? Welcome to the video. Today we are going to be talking about Ahiru no Sora, a sports school anime. I want to add the slice of life and drama tag to it. It's not drama in the normal sense like you see it in other animes, but there's a little bit of drama in it. Not the annoying type of drama or the lovable type of drama either. But I'd like to add that tag to it as well as the slice of life tag. You'll understand as I explain what the anime is about. So the source material for Ahiru no Sora is a manga written by Takeshi Hinata, serialized in the Weekly Shonen magazine and released in 2003. Now, the anime was released in 2019 and was animated by Dio Medea Studio, which also animated Domestic Girlfriend and a bunch. That's really funny. It animated a bunch of those ecchi Sasibaka little girl animes. You know, those characters that look like 12-year-olds, but they are doing ecchi stuff. It's really weird because on at least on my on my anime list, I can't talk. On my anime list, there's you see the list of animes animated by that studio. You see all those ecchi animes, those Sasibaka little girl animes, whatever, and then you just see Ahiru no Sora, a very serious sports anime, like with a serious atmosphere, and Futsal, another sports anime that I haven't watched. But anyway, I think one if you are those Sasibaka animes or sports animes as well, it's just they are very different, a very different atmosphere, a very different concept. So yeah, Ahiru no Sora is my favorite sports anime of all time. It's not Kuroko no Basket, it's not Slam Dunk, it's not. It used to be Diamond no Ace, but it has been replaced by Ahiru no Sora. So I'm gonna tell you about the story a little bit, and then I'm gonna say exactly why it's my favorite anime. So the anime follows Kurumatani Sora, who loves basketball. But unfortunately for him, he's short. And he gets bullied a lot because of his height as well. But he loves basketball. He's very good at it compared to a lot of people. He's very good at it. And then he's about to go to high school, right? So he goes to this high school called Kuzuryu High, right? Very excited. He wants to integrate the basketball club, right? Unfortunately for him, the basketball club is trash and full of delinquents who consider the basketball locker room they're tough and delinquents who don't want to play basketball, who don't want anybody else to play basketball. If anybody else does it, they bully them, they beat them up. Sucks for Sora, but he perseveres and is able to form a team, right? Now, why is Ahiru no Sora very different from other animes? You know how in like Haikyuu, Diamond no Ace, or Kuroko no Basket, they form a team, right? They start slow. They impress. That's very interesting. That's very important, rather. That's a key point. They impress all the other teams, you know. All the other teams are like, ooh. They're still kind of weak, but yeah, they've got a lot of potential. And this thought that the other teams have usually transcribes into something real. It usually the protagonist's team or the protagonist team. I'm not sure how I should call that. They win some games, they lose some games, but they mostly win, I guess, right? Against the small teams, at least, they mostly win. And then against the big teams, let's say during their run to Koshin, to the Interhigh, because that's the premise of most sports animes, team sports animes at least. During their run to Koshin, they win their first matches and then lose to a really strong team or whatever, and then they try again, and then they get to Koshin, and then season one ends there, and then season 2 comes or whatever. I'm saying that because for Diamond Ace, they got to Koshin and like it just stopped. Like we don't know what happens unless we read the manga. I haven't read the manga. I'm mostly an anime watcher when it comes to sports animes. So yeah, but they usually perform pretty well. But Ahiru no Sora is different because it's very realistic. In those other animes, the protagonist team wins through, the power of gut, the power of miracles. Sure, they train, but if you look at where they started and where they get in a very short amount of time, it's very unnatural, right? It's very unnatural. And it makes sense. It's an anime. Why does it have to be realistic? It wouldn't be good if it's realistic, right? We want fantasy world. We want something exaggerated. We want something different from real life, right? But Ahiru no Sora says, F all of that. It's gonna be realistic, right? So Kuzuryu High's basketball team starts off bad. And they stay bad. Because their skills, compared to most of their opponents, they do win some games, I think, in the manga against small teams. And later on, it gets better. But like when you watch the anime, they start off bad, and the opponents, or the most notable opponents, are usually up there, very like well above them, right? And Kuzuryu High is here, right? And in order for them to go from here to there, of course, it takes a lot of effort. This is a team sport. This is basketball. Sports is hard. You don't win. In real life, you don't win through the power of guts alone. In order to win through the power of guts, you need to be up there with your opponent. And then the power of guts or whatever miracles will make a difference. That's how the power of guts, friendship, or whatever makes a difference. You need to be at the same level as your opponent. If you're there, no matter how much you improve during the game with the power of whatever, you won't get there, right? Realistically. But in those other animes, they do get there through a random training camp in the sand, in very harsh conditions. They go train on mountains or whatever, and then next season, they are really good. But in Ahiru no Sora, they train, and they still get hit hard by the reality of basketball, the reality of sports. It's not that easy. There's a lot that needs to be adjusted for the team to be good, for the individual players to be good. You need to have teamwork. You need to have a good coach. You need to be good individually. You need to have a good bench, right? You need to have a good mental state. And that's one of the issues of that team. They get fucked by all aspects of their lives. Like these boys on that basketball team, they go through a lot, right? They get kicked by the sports that they are playing, that a lot of them really, really love. But they also get kicked by other aspects of their lives, especially the MC, Sora. Like, no matter what kind of progress they make, life always kicks them back down. They get back up, which is nice to see, but every time they make some progress, man, some shit happens. And this is why Ahiru no Sora is my favorite sports anime of all time, because of this realism, right? Because I've played basketball for 5 years, and I understand how it's hard to get good. At some point, for 2 straight years, I was playing basketball every single day. I was training every single day. Like, seriously, but it's hard. I was still bad. I mean, I'm not trying to compare myself to other people, but like it just made me understand how hard it is. It's not just about playing every day. There's so much to take in consideration. And in Ahiru no Sora, for example, their coach was good. Okay, it was this first year. I think she was first year. Yeah, Nanao was the first year. Okay, that was a spoiler. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Yes, she's a first year, but like she's a good coach. She's very smart. She understands basketball really well. But unfortunately, the difference between her and the coaches of the other schools is experience. She doesn't have that kind of experience that the others have. She's very smart and she actually performs, but it's just those are things that you won't see in sports. There's something that made a difference, and you have to figure out what made the difference. And Nanao's lack of experience also makes a difference. But it's also the shit that happens with the players, the fact that their delinquent past keeps following them, and Kurumatani having his own issues with his family. It's a ride. It's a wild ride. I remember watching this anime. So I watched it when it just came out, right? 3 years ago. I remember watching every episode and I'm like, what the hell, man? Why are they getting effed over by life so much? Right? It really changed, like, it really put me in a very different mindset from when I was watching Ace of Diamond, which I really love, because as I said, they usually perform well at first and then they lose against that big team and then they try again. But Kuzuryu High just gets effed on the court and off the court all the time. They even lose against a half-dead team. Like, not a half-dead team, a team with a half-dead main player. I'm saying half-dead, but he's not half-dead. But like, he was injured. He was badly injured. And they lost to a team like that. So like, it's just crazy. And yeah, that's it for my description of Ahiru no Sora. It's so good to me. I rated it an 8 out of 10 in my personal anime list. So again, my ratings are very subjective. I'm not rating it objectively. I'm rating it relative to the other animes that I've watched. All right. If you have the same taste in anime as I do, then it's probably gonna be an 8 out of 10 for you as well. But if you don't worry about it. It's just my opinion, okay? Its rating is up there with the rating for Berserk, the Berserk anime. But I know for a fact that the Berserk story is just much better, right? But yeah, as I said, it's a subjective opinion. It's based on what I like, what I don't like personally. So if I had to rate Berserk objectively, it would be a 10 out of 10. And Ahiru no Sora objectively, I don't know, maybe it would be a 7, but no. I like it. It's my favorite sports anime of all time, and I'm rating it an 8 out of 10. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to thumbs up the video if you like it. Leave a comment if you have something to say. If you don't, say something anyway. And yeah, subscribe and watch me on Twitch. Sometimes I stream Tower of Fantasy right now. It's a really good game, but I need to go play that. Bye.